Some of y'all really need to value yourself. And I know because I read the comments. And I know it's hard. So I want to make a video about valuing yourself and what that actually means. So there's a big difference between having confidence and valuing yourself and being egotistical. And I think it gets twisted online a lot from people who don't know you or people who make judgments. It's one thing to be an egomaniac. It's one thing to assume that your shit doesn't stink and that you are greater than other human beings. Now, obviously, in some cases, you may be more mature than other people. You may be financially better. You might have a better looking girlfriend. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are open to the same problems that everyone else is as far as your health, as far as paying bills. At some point, even if you're wealthy, you're going to have problems. They might be different problems to somebody else, but you're going to have problems. So you can't view yourself as being greater than anybody. You really can't, because out there's always somebody who's greater than you, right? As far as being a person goes, if you're putting in a body of work and you're, excelling at that body of work, you can say, I'm very good at this. This is what I have passion for. This is what I like to do. But it's different from being an egomaniac. Now, that is the difference between kind of valuing yourself and being an egomaniac. Valuing yourself means you can look in the mirror and be proud of the person who you are, or be proud of the person who you want to become. And the only way to become that person is through self-help. It's through making yourself better, making yourself a better person by either reading books and practicing what the books say about being a better person, fixing whatever problems you may have in your life that are holding you down, assessing your internal trauma and beliefs and trying to work on that, working on your anxiety, working on your confidence, and working on the fact that when you truly value yourself, the confidence will come. And these are very important things to help you succeed, whether it be in your romantic life or whether it be in business. You have to have confidence to succeed, especially if you're a man. You have to have confidence to succeed with women and to succeed with business. You might get lucky for either of those, but your chances are much higher to excel at that if you have that self-confidence, and you build that up by valuing yourself. So you're probably wondering, okay, I'm feeling down the dumps right now. My self-esteem is low. How can I value myself? I know you're thinking that right now. Some of y'all are. Okay, I'm going to tell you. You have to look at yourself and realize that you bring something to the world. You bring something to the world. Your existence makes the world better. Now, again, you're probably wondering, well, does it really? What am I doing? I guarantee you that at some point you've done something that has brought value to someone else. It could be giving a homeless man $5. It could be hearing your friend crying on the phone, talking about how his girlfriend left him and being a good friend and listening to him. It could be that time you helped the old lady next door carry her groceries in. Even if it's something that might seem minuscule, something that might seem like something that everybody should do, which I do think everybody should do these things, just think about that. Think about when you've done these kind deeds, and that increases your value as a person. You say, you know what? That day, me helping that lady carry her groceries made her life easier. And it wasn't that hard for me to do either because I'm young and not old and I can do this, right? That day that you gave the homeless man money, you don't know what he's going to go spend it on, but if he spends it on food, he needs the food to live. So you prolonged his life. You helped in that case. You have to remember that these little things add up. And so those are ways that you kind of can value who you are as a person. On a much deeper level, you can find out what you're talented at, whether it be playing the violin or Dragon Ball Fighters, and saying, okay, I'm very good at this. And back in the day, the idea of being good at a video game was kind of a loser thing. But now we've evolved so much that we now have esports. People are making real money being good at video games, brother. So if you told a girl 20 years ago, oh, I'm very good at a video game, she might not be so attracted to you. But nowadays, if you're out there winning tournaments and making cash, right, and showing that you are skilled and having a following, that's very sexy. The world has changed. The world really has changed when it comes to that. Like I said before, geekdom, nerddom, video game genre stuff that we all grew up with, that's the cool thing now. That's the cool thing. And you can even be good at that. A championship level. But even if you're not, if you dedicate yourself to it, that's value. If you are willing to dedicate yourself to something, whether it be going to class, whether it be passing this or getting a certain grade, that increases your value because that means that you have pride in your work and you have a higher chance of succeeding because you have confidence. Pride and ego and confidence are like a Venn diagram in that some have very similar symptoms, but the core reason is when you're confident in yourself, you don't have to elevate yourself anymore. You don't elevate yourself above people. You instead elevate others to your level. You try to make people around you better. And if you haven't gotten there yet, that's okay, because you will. Just continue to value yourself. Sit down and look and say, I'm a pretty good guy. Like, for example, if you go through a breakup, let's use this as an example. If you go through a breakup, right, everybody will tell you, hey, work on yourself, improve yourself now that you're free from the relationship, which you should be doing even in a relationship, but sometimes you get caught up in things, it happens. There's always something going on. But this time you'll learn from that. So your next relationship, you'll be able to still improve yourself. But basically I tell you, focus on yourself. What does that mean? Focus on things that you can improve, that you can control about yourself. Lose weight. If you're too skinny, you want to get muscular. Gain weight. Hit the gym. Improve your health. Because the reality is that when it comes to health, there's really there's never anything wrong with improving your health. Never. There's nothing wrong with it. Anybody who says otherwise is a moron. Even if it's something just changing your diet, just doing that without even hitting the gym. All these things are helpful to you and help you have a higher quality of life. And then when you have a higher quality of life, you value yourself more. So like I said, let's say you go through a breakup, right? Sit down and think about who you are as a person. Now, if you cheated or whatever, you screwed up big time, well, that's tough. But if it was a dumb breakup over something dumb, or maybe you were too clingy or whatever, you got to think about at this point, what you can bring to the next relationship or to yourself. I have a good job. I have stability. I have a paid off car. Whatever you have in your life that you can value, even if it is something that's, an object. Normally I wouldn't put that high on the list, but sometimes these things bring you joy and can bring others joy. If you have, like I said, a paid off car, that's a good thing to have. It's value. And there's actual value in that. If you have money, there's value in that. Literal financial value. You know what I mean? Not just emotional value, which is what we're talking about here. But when you have these things, it makes you more confident. I said a long time ago, the way to build confidence is to win at things, right? But that was only part of the problem, part of the equation here. The real thing is to value what you bring and what kind of person you are or what kind of person you want to be. And if you are willing to make the sacrifices to be that person. For example, instead of playing your video game for 2 hours, play it for 1 hour and spend the other hour reading a book about attachment styles or a book about anxiety or a book about how to make yourself a better person. Do that kind of shit. Oh, I want to watch the new, PewDiePie video. Well, that's fine. Watch it. But before you do that, maybe read for half an hour on something that can improve you. Things like that, Or get on the damn treadmill for an extra 20 minutes. Even if it hurts. Now, if it really hurts, don't. But you know what I mean. That's how you increase your value. And if you increase your value as a person, you will not only make more friends, you will also make more business partners and thus increasing your portfolio possibly. You will also attract more women. You will, trust me. You will also have a better quality of life and feel better about yourself. You can go to sleep at night and say, you know what? I did this today. I did this last week. I did this last month. I'm a good person. Or whatever your values are. Because that's one thing I do want to say is everyone's values are different. Some of you guys want families. Other people don't. If having a child and taking care of your child is what you value, there you go. Boom, confidence boost. You're a good father. being a good father should be a big confidence boost. You know, and if you don't want a family, okay, I want to live single, but I want to help out the poor. You know, boom, there you go. You got value. It's not just about being nice, though. It's about looking at your core values and saying, okay, this is what I want to be, and how can I become that? And then as you become that, your confidence goes up. And then when your confidence goes up, it does correlate to your depression and anxiety going down. It does. If you have clinical depression, you can't, or bipolar disorder, that's different. You can't really control that. That's just your chemicals. But I've heard that it does help. But if you have just, situational depression, what better way to cure that than by getting a better situation, hence situational depression. So that does help. I'm not an expert, but I know it helps. So just remember that you're an important person. Just remember that people care about you, and if they don't, they will. Just shoot for it. Remember that. Somebody will always care about you, but I mean, some of y'all think nobody does. People do. You just got to look at it from outside your own brain. Because your brain will lie to you and tell you shit to make you feel worse than you really are, which I might do a whole video about that. That's what anxiety really is, your brain lying to you. That's really what it is, It's kind of crazy how our own bodies will go against us sometimes, but that's the way it is. Anyways, I hope this video brought value to you. And if it did, please leave a like. And if you feel moved by these words, drop a donation. My PayPal should be in the about of this channel, I think. I think it's there. You don't have to, obviously, but some people want to do it, so go for it. And I hope you have a great day. And remember what I said.